Hey guys, welcome to this auspicious occasion because we've got the entire TFLtruck team here, and that means, boys, it's time once again for what?
2017 Gold Hitch Award Deliberations.
Yep, and as always, we do these on camera because one of the core virtues, I think, virtues of TFLtruck is transparency. To my right, of course, is our truck expert, Mr. Truck, from MrTruck.com. Next to him is
Nathan. Hey guys.
Yep, and of course, our managing editor, Andre Smirnoff, and I'm here doing the kind of hosting. So let's get at it, boys. Before we start though, I do want to talk about the ground rules. Now, up there you'll notice those are all the trucks and all the categories that we have this year. We invited the manufacturers to submit and send us trucks, and those are the trucks that showed up. So we sent an open letter to everybody. Is that right, Andre? You sent it?
Yep, I sent out the letter, and we were focusing on trucks that are new.
Yep.
And or updated for this year, for 2017. And manufacturers had a choice. They either sent us the truck or they didn't.
Yeah, and then you'll also notice that there's a conspicuous category in its absence, and that's the heavy-duty 2500 trucks. This year, because we wanted to focus on the dualies, we went for the 3500 trucks. We have limited amount of resources to do these tests, so we can't do it all. There's a short amount of time from when the new trucks come out from when we actually have to pick the trucks for the Gold Hitch Award. So next year we're hoping, if all goes well, keep your fingers crossed, we'll focus on the 2500s.
And we were one of the first outlets to get these trucks. It's not like, we were waiting for weeks or months. These trucks come out in January or February timeframe, and we want to do all this testing and all the scoring before the Denver Auto Show so we can give you guys the data.
Well, sure, and this is a lot of category of trucks. You're not going to see this many categories of trucks anywhere else. This is a big test.
All right, boys, let's start with the first category, the smallest trucks, the mid-size trucks. Now, we had 3 trucks that we tested this year. We had the GMC Canyon. It scored a combined 87 and got 12.7 mpg on our mpg loop. What's important, Andre, is how much weight do these trucks haul? Let's start with the mid-size.
Right, the mid-size trucks, we had a 14-foot stalker trailer from CM Trailers loaded to 6,100 pounds, and every truck towed the exact same trailer with weight and setup.
Right, well, it's a little higher than last year, isn't it? 6,100?
Yeah, why 6,100?
I wanted to push the trucks a little bit more.
Fair enough.
We towed 5,600 pounds last year. And Roman, you have the actual awards, right? The actual buckle.
I do.
The award.
This is what it looks like, guys. Here, I'm going to put up this camera. You can see it there. So let me go over the mid-size trucks again. There was 3 trucks. The GMC Canyon scored 87 points. 12.7 mpg on the mpg loop, which is a separate thing actually. It's when we take the trucks on a 100-mile mpg loop. The Chevy Colorado scored 80 points and got 8.7 on the mpg loop. Now keep in mind the Canyon, of course, was the diesel. The Colorado was the V6 gas. So there was a difference between those 2 trucks. And Nissan sent us their Frontier, which got 63 points, but we didn't have a chance to run the mpg loop on it. Unfortunately, we ran out of time.
Yes. And one other thing about the weight, the 6,100 pounds, that's Nissan Frontier was basically maxed out at this weight.
All the way.
And we always use sort of the minimum weight that the truck in the category can tow, and every truck in that category tows the same weight.
Before we go to the scoring, I want to ask Kent about the 2 trucks. How did the GMC do, Kent? Talk about that.
Well, the GMC Canyon with the diesel, the reason it got such a high score is because it was fantastic breaking down the hill, which is a big thing for me, and the miles per gallon. It wasn't as fast up the hill, but I thought those 2 things gave it a better score. The Colorado has that new 8-speed, which I really like, but it seemed to lack the power going up the hill too, and it was faster than a Duramax. But going downhill, it didn't do nearly as well as the diesel. Of course, the diesel had exhaust brake. The diesel had, they both had tow haul mode, but the diesel did very well. Now the Nissan Frontier, it gave it the extra points because it's probably the best value of the bunch. You can buy it for the best price. But it was slow going up the hill, and it didn't do anything remarkable coming down the hill.
Are you ready to vote, boys?
Yeah.
And by the way, this Canyon was a Denali version, which is new for this year.
And that's the fully loaded with all the bells and whistles and blah, blah, blah.
That's a sexy beast.
That's what you call it.
Sexy beast.
All right, so we vote, each one of us votes for a truck, right?
Yep, we each vote for a truck, and then I'll add up the scores, and I will announce the winner of the midsize truck category.
For towing.
For towing, of course. Thank you.
Is this like the Oscars or?
No, because we're actually going to get it right the first time.
Oh, that's a good one. All right, and boys, I'm not sure what this means, sexy beast.
That means Denali. What else could it mean? Chrome and black. What has it better than chrome and black?
The score is unanimous. I think we saw that coming.
Yeah.
The GMC Canyon Duramax wins our midsize truck of the year for a second year running, and I think that has to do with the fact that it's the only midsize truck that is available with the diesel engine, and diesel and towing go together like peanut
Now that's currently, there's in the near future, we're hearing rumors that there may be more diesels in midsize trucks.
So let's move on to the half-ton class, and this is going to be a little bit more contentious, I suspect. Andre, walk us through how much weight we towed.
So once again, we set our trailer weight, making sure that all the competitors can actually tow this weight.
Right.
And we used a 20-foot CM trailer cargo trailer loaded with 9,000 pounds combined weight, trailer and the water that we usually carry. And that was because the Titan, that was pretty much the maximum weight for the configuration that the Nissan Titan could tow.
Right.
And the other trucks matched it.
Was that up from last year too?
No, it's actually identical,
Exactly the
same
same.
weight,
Okay.
different trailer though.
So this year's contenders were the Ford F-150. It scored 72 points, and on our MPG loop it got 9.1 miles to the gallon. Then the Chevy Silverado, and that was a close 70.5 points, but remarkably a 10.6 MPG. So didn't do quite as well on the iGauntlet, but it much
The
better
efficiency.
on the efficiency loop. And finally, Nissan sent us their Titan. That scored 66 points and did 8.6 on the MPG loop. Now, before we get to our voting, we have to talk about the fact that there are two conspicuous trucks that are absent there, right?
Yes.
There's no Ram and there's no Toyota. And once again, the reason for that is up to the manufacturers.
Yeah, and actually Ram did send us an eco diesel truck that you could see videos from that we did with that truck as well.
We did the MPG loop, and it scored, I think it had our highest MPG
It
loop.
was 13.3, which is way higher than the best, in the half-ton segment. But it's not on sale currently. The eco diesel is not currently on sale due to the certification with emissions.
And Toyota, well, I don't know, they just didn't send the Tundra.
Yeah, it was up to them. It was their choice.
Yeah, it was their choice. So,
But we tested the Toyota last year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like we don't have the data. You can go to TFLtruck.com and see a Tundra with a 5.7 liter V8 going up the mountain.
Right.
all right, well, let's talk about how the trucks did. I'll let you guys discuss among yourselves.
Well, the Titan, that had the new 7-speed automatic.
Yep, and the new 5.6 V8.
Right,
Yep.
It's a fantastic engine.
Yeah, so we liked that. And, the fuel mileage better on the Silverado, that was interesting. Usually that Silverado, that 6.2, does better at sea level and does at altitude. But the Ford, what's really remarkable about that is when we're going up the hill, it would accelerate at any point. You could be going 60 here and accelerate. You could be going 50 and accelerate. You could be going, 65 and accelerate. That was unbelievable. Well, the Chevy, you couldn't. Once it got to that speed, you were there. You wiped the throttle, didn't prove anything. And then downhill, both of them had problems. I think this was 10 events on the Ford, 11 on the Chevy. That was kind of a surprise. Last year, they both break better than that. So
New transmission for the Ford, 10-speed.
that's right.
Yep.
That's right.
New body, which is aluminum. Updated EcoBoost engine.
Yeah, actually, second generation 3.5
That's right.
liter.
And it's a freaking rocket. I mean, it is ridiculously quick and powerful. I mean, you got to admit, in this environment, at high elevation, having a twin turbocharged V6 is a benefit.
Yeah, it's dual injections. They have 2 injectors per cylinder.
So
So
crazy.
yeah.
All right.
And of course, the drivetrain in the Chevy Silverado was the same as last year, 6.2 liter, 8-speed. It had a few, features that were different for this year, like lane keep assist was in the truck now this year. And the Titan, of course, is all new.
Yeah, Titan is all new.
5.6, yeah.
And despite the fact that it didn't do quite as well as the other ones with towing, but once again, we stand by the fact that we think it's got an excellent power plant.
Yeah.
All right, how do we vote?
Yeah, we're good to vote, boys. So give me your ballots. All right, thank you, sir. Nice picture, Nathan.
Yeah, I was going to draw something else,
All
but
right. And Andre, we're looking for one more vote from the jurors, and almost unanimous.
What?
Almost.
Who the hell voted against?
But the winner is the Ford F-150.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that EcoBoost engine is just a monster at towing. And, obviously we do this at altitude. If we maybe did it at a lower altitude, the 6.2 in the Chevy would probably stand out. But there is no doubt that truck could pull a lot more weight if the chassis were capable of it. The engine and the power plant certainly are there.
And actually the Chevy and the Ford are both rated at or above 11,000 pounds of towing.
Yeah,
Which is for a half-ton truck.
Which is insane.
Yeah, it's very high for
And these are
half-ton
crew cab 4x4s, by the way.
Right, they're loaded.
And I actually didn't vote for the Ford.
Yes, you were the one person who did.
That's who it was.
I voted for the Silverado.
I'm glad you're sitting over there.
Gentlemen, let's move on to probably the most interesting class this year, and that's the heavy-duty dualies. Andre, why did we go for the dualies this year and not 2500s? Because let's face it, more people buy 2500s than dualies, but there's a reason we wanted to go with the dualies.
I focused on the dualies specifically, and the reason for that is we can load them with really, really heavy weights to challenge the new diesel engines, because the 3/4 tons have basically the same engines as the dualies in most cases, right? Same ratings, but lower towing ratings. So, and those weights are not enough to challenge those big diesels. But we towed 22,800 pounds gooseneck trailer with 2 mini excavators.
The thing is that you drove them all up and down the hill.
Yeah.
And why is that?
Tell everybody.
Oh, I've got a CDL and they're over 26,000 combined weight
Yes.
rating, so we were being legal.
Yeah.
We had our flares, we had our fire extinguishers, we had all of it.
And Andre, let's talk about how much we towed this year.
So the gooseneck, the big tex trailer,
Yeah.
was loaded combined weight 22,800 pounds.
Yep.
Which was about 1,400 pounds more than last year.
Yeah, we were
so
quite a
we
bit
were actually
heavier.
trying to push the envelope as close as we can. And why did we tow that? Because that's the maximum of the Chevy heavy duty.
Yeah, we maxed out the Chevy.
This was the most surprising category I think we've ever had.
I don't think any of us expected this.
Because look, you got Ram, which is basically unchanged, and it's got the 6-cylinder Cummins, and then you've got the 2 from Ford and Chevy that have the 8-cylinder diesels, right? The Power Stroke and the Duramax. Let's talk about it. So the Chevy Silverado scored 52.5, and there's a reason that those numbers are a little bit lower, and that's because there was some issues with downhill braking. We had to take that criteria kind of out of the picture.
Well, by the way, we're using the same scale on scoring across all classes. So we're using the same MPG benchmark and the same time benchmark, which is 8 minutes up the mountain and 6 MPGs up the mountain as well. So that's why the mid-sizes scored the highest and the heavy duty scored the lowest.
So 52.5 for the Chevy Silverado with a 6.4 on the 100 mile, 98 mile MPG loop. The Ram did 49 points with a 6.6 MPG, which is the best in class for the MPG. And of course the Ford with the new Power Stroke had 44.5 points and 5.7 MPG, which is actually very surprising because it's light, supposedly. Lighter.
Lighter than previous years.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, all new and all revised.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how they went up and down the mountain.
Well, the Chevy Silverado had a cool hood scoop. It just looked cool. But it was not about power, it's about heat control, so that wasn't it. That all-new engine was remarkable. And actually, they all did very well on braking, actually better than last year, and I was really impressed with them, so that's a good thing. But the Chevy Silverado, it was like one of the fastest times up the hill, as I recall. And we were doing, it's a controversy of pulling these big trailers. That was at maximum capacity, and it did so well. The rest of them were way below maximum capacity. The Ram did so well in a lot of categories, and it was surprising in a lot of categories. It actually, on the braking and accelerating. And the Ford, we don't know what the deal was there, but it was a disappointment from what, the power numbers show us, the 925 torque, the 440 horsepower. It didn't act like that kind of power when we were pulling the trailers. Actually, almost every truck we test going up the gauntlet, from the first mile I can get to 60 miles an hour. I could not get the Ford to 60 miles an hour.
The Chevy was the quickest up the mountain, like you said, at 10 minutes and 16 seconds. Ram was second quickest at 10 minutes, 28 seconds, so about 12 seconds slower. And Ford was not far behind that at 10 minutes, 31 seconds. So there wasn't a huge gap between these trucks. But the Ford was the slowest in this case.
Yeah,
And
it's
it
a
also
surprise.
got the least MPG.
MPG, according to the trip computer.
It was good at racing 0 to 60.
It was a quick monster.
When it was empty, it was
yeah.
fast, yeah.
Yeah, it's really unusual results.
And we also did the MPG loops on the same day as well with the same trailer, same weight, 22,800 pounds. And the surprising part there, I thought the Chevy was going to do a lot better, and it did pretty well, but the Ram kind of just took that category on the MPG.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's good to see an old truck that hasn't been changed much do so well.
All right, boys, vote. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And let's see what.
Can I borrow one of those pieces of
Oh,
paper?
certainly.
Wow,
Roman?
that's a surprise. All right, we have a 3-1 outcome. Decision. I was worried that we were going to have to do a tiebreaker, but ladies and gentlemen, the oldest truck
What?
Yeah!
in the category
What?
has won the heavy duty. Congratulations, Ram. You won the Gold Hitch Award for 2017.
What have you guys been smoking? What in the world?
Let's move on. We still have
two more.
two more categories
Yeah,
to go. So let's go to the off-roaders now. Off-roaders this year, we had the brand new Ford Raptor, the Nissan Frontier Pro 4X, the Nissan Titan Pro 4X, the Ram Power Wagon, which is somewhat all new, at least in terms of its look. And we have the Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro. Now keep in mind that in the past we've done these in a bunch of different ways, but we get these trucks in the middle of winter, so we would love to take them all up Goldmine Hill or take them all up the Cliffhanger, but we can't do that because in winter Colorado gets snowed in and it's almost impossible. What we can say is that we have every single one of us taking these trucks off-road, so this is going to be a very subjective, basically voting.
But the other thing about off-roading, there's so many variables, right? Did you hit any ruts, rocks, moisture, you cannot have a scientific test, right, unless you're in a laboratory somewhere testing these trucks. So all of us have experience with these trucks off-road and we can judge them.
Well, let me kind of give you a rundown. So the Raptor is all new, both from a chassis and from a power plant. And not only is the power plant not the same power plant that's in the regular F-150, it's actually an upgraded version of that. It's also the only truck of the group right now that has a 10-speed transmission, which is pretty incredible.
It's also most powerful in this group.
It's also the most powerful. We did a drag race and it easily won.
There is no competition on speed.
The Nissan Frontier Pro 4X is the oldest of this group. It's been around for a long time. We've had that truck a number of times. It's a very honest truck, and it actually won our Midsize mashup just because off-road, the baked-in goodness of that truck in terms of its off-road capability came through loud and clear. The Nissan Titan Pro 4X is all new. It's just a really good all-around truck, I think. I think it does. You've got a lot of experience
You
with
did
that.
it on the Cliffhanger.
Yeah, and I got to tell you guys that once again, it's one of my favorite V8 engines that's been recently updated. It's practically all new. Good transmission, smooth ride, very capable off-road. Yet you can drive it on the streets, and to me, it's one of the better handling trucks underneath the Raptor. So it's just a good, solid truck.
And the Ram Power Wagon, of course, is it's a stylistic update. So they've kept the basics from the outgoing truck, but they've improved the look of it. They've made it
The
more
interior as well.
interior. They've done some plastic dip on the front fender so that winch. It's also the only vehicle, not the only truck, the only vehicle in America you can get with a winch.
From the factory.
From the factory. And you guys went on the launch of it, and you guys did some crazy off-roading.
Yeah,
I've
it was
never
awesome.
seen that.
Yeah, it's a beast.
It was in Nevada near Vegas in
Yes.
the Valley of Fire.
Valley of Fire.
We have a video about that. You should check it out.
And of course, the Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro is the highest, I think, level of off-road truck in the midsize segment. So it kind of takes where the Frontier Pro 4X leaves off and goes up another level because it's got specific shocks just for off-roading. It's a very capable off-road truck, and it's the smallest of the off-road trucks in kind of that upper category.
And there's an elephant not in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it hasn't come out yet.
Right, the ZR2 is not on sale yet.
It's referring to the Chevy Colorado Zero 2.
Yeah, and you guys have asked us where is the ZR2. We've asked for it months ago, and it hasn't really reached.
I think once again, in order to be in contention, not only do we have to test the truck, but it has to be for sale. All right,
Totally fair.
All right, give me your votes, gentlemen. Give me your vote.
Watch this be a 3-1.
Oh, I have a suspicion.
Oh, we got a tie.
Oh my gosh!
Can I guess the tie?
Take a guess.
What?
Raptor, Power Wagon.
It splits right down the middle. So we've got two gentlemen who believe that the
This is no surprise for those of you who watch me with that
Okay, and
Ram.
the
Well, I
two
love
gentlemen that don't think so?
and then two of us who think that the Raptor is the most off-road worthy truck.
I got to say something about the Raptor. You know, its power doesn't just make it the fastest truck we've ever tested.
Yep.
It's actually up there on the top 20 of the fastest vehicles we've tested up here.
So,
Yeah, but
so
old
our
school,
rules
new
are very
school.
straightforward in this regard. If there's a tie, if we can convince each other to vote a different way, then we can settle it that way. We can't have a tie. Or if we can't convince each other, then I get to cast a tiebreaker.
But here's the thing. As much as I really want the Ram to win, I acknowledge the fact that Ford has built a moonshot with the new Raptor. It is ridiculously fast. It's incredibly capable. Its off-road ride is incomparable. Nothing else touches it off-road in terms of what it can do, with the exception of rock crawling. It's the only thing where the Ram really kills it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everything else the Raptor does competently. Departure angle is a problem. You got to admit.
I agree.
Yeah,
Departure
you
angle.
better. You better.
I agree because I made those round tailpipes oval.
Does this sound familiar?
Yeah, but you know that's true, and the Raptor is the funnest truck I've ever driven. I love driving it, but for practicality purposes, I would use a Power Wagon for more things. I would use it more often. I mean, I'd love to have a Raptor if I could afford them both. I would
But you
get them
can't
both.
even get up into the Power Wagon. I mean, you have to have a ladder to climb.
They
in
make
there.
little stirrup things, you know, like a running board you can do. You got running boards on your Raptor. We can put little running boards on the Power Wagon. No big
So
deal.
Nathan, are you saying you're changing your vote?
Sorry, Ken.
Don't do this. Don't do this.
I have to acknowledge, see,
That's the dark side. Do
it
not
is.
do it.
Ram hasn't gone and done anything really new with the Ram. It's just as good as it was last year. It's pretty much the same as it was last year, and last year it won.
That's
It
a
wasn't a
strong
winner.
point. Being the same for year after year is a good point.
It is a good point, but it's not the right point. The right point is who's built the best truck for off-roading
You know,
this year.
that's kind of like a city sissy guy would vote for.
All right, congratulations to Ford.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You'll have to forgive me.
For winning this year's Gold Hitch off-road.
Yeah, they deserve it. It's just
fun.
such an incredible truck.
And
It's
the biggest
fun to
complaint about the Raptor, you know, guys out there say it doesn't have a V8, right? But
So?
as soon as you just drive it, yes, it doesn't sound like a V8, but the power is incredible. I mean, 450
It's stupid
horsepower.
fast.
It wakes you up.
Yeah,
yeah.
It won the drag race by far.
Oh God, yeah.
By far.
It won it's the fastest truck we've ever tested.
And around, like driving it on the streets, around corners and whatnot, it actually handles really, really good for a truck.
So the trucks that are up for contention for the Truck of the Year, our midsize winner, the GMC Canyon, our half-ton winner, the Ford F-150, our surprise heavy-duty winner, the Ram, and of course our contentious off-road winner, the Raptor. So, gentlemen, pick the Truck of the Year, please. Pick the truck that you would.
If we all choose
A
like
different
a
truck?
different one,
Then I don't know. We haven't
Then
done
we'll be
that
here.
before. We haven't done that before.
We'll be here for a long time.
Yeah, we'll be here for a long time trying to convince each other. So, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Oh. And once again, we have a tie.
God, is it a two-way tie or
It's a two-way tie.
Okay.
Two of us voted for the Raptor and two voted for the Ford F-150.
You know what we got to do? What we'll do is we'll do an arm wrestle for who wins.
Oh, that's no
Break
problem.
the tie with arm
That's the
wrestle.
one thing I can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got basically utility versus off-roading. We've got towing capacity versus
Off-road prowess.
Off-road prowess.
You know, for two trucks that are technically related, they couldn't be more different.
Yeah, so,
You know,
so
that's-
can we convince each other to pick one?
Yeah, I don't want to.
So,
Well, I mean, it's such a small class. The people that buy Raptors, I mean, they're great. They spend a lot of money for it, and they have a lot of fun. But there's going to be like, what, 20 times more buy the F-150.
The F-150 is what people who work and people who play and everything else are going to buy. That's what the regular, real people are going to buy.
And it does have the 10-speed. It does have dual injection.
Exactly.
It's
Or
very similar
Or
to
you
Raptor.
don't have to get a 10-speed right now. I mean, the 10-speed is coming in 2018 throughout the lineup of the F-150 when they're updating it, but you can get a V8 still, a 5-liter.
Yeah, the Coyote.
So I'm kind of swaying to the F-150 a little bit.
I think
You bought it for the Raptor?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my gosh.
so. He obviously.
I get to cast a deciding vote, but I would much prefer for you guys to hammer this out so I don't have to. So are you saying, Andre, that you're going to go and vote for the F-150 instead?
Yes. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm changing my mind.
Yes.
There you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to the Ford F-150 for being the 2017 TFL Truck of the Year. And this was quite the year, and I don't ever want to repeat it again.
I know. I'm glad.
It was fun, right?
We need a fifth person, damn it.
Oh,
We need a
really?
fifth
Well,
person.
I'm glad Andre came to his senses. That makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Thank all of you first and foremost for watching all this TFL Ike Gauntlet and off-road testing. Without you, this wouldn't be possible. And of course, without the manufacturers, it wouldn't be possible. So thank you to everyone. And we do, like Nathan says, listen to your suggestions.
We certainly do.
So if you have any ideas on how to make this better, let us know in the messages below. And check out our store, right? Get some TFL.
I also want to send special thanks to all our sponsors.
Ike Gear, yep.
So Big Tex Trailers.
Yes,
Good
Big
stuff.
Tex is awesome.
CM Trailers with
What is this thing here?
This is a Gen Y Mega Hawk. Do you see this, guys? This is my most favorite accessory that.
You put it on your tow hitch so you can hook things, or in Andre's case, it's also doubles as an anchor.
It
when he
also doubles
submerges.
as a step. You can use it as a hitch step.
Yeah, it's pretty beefy.
Gen Y hitch, where with weight distributing hitches and airlift. With air spring helpers for heavy towing.
But we're doing these shout outs because without these sponsors, guys, we couldn't do this. Just in terms of diesel and gas cost alone, every time we run a truck up the Icon or do an MPG loop, it's hundreds of dollars. So
But it's also at least 5 of us involved in this, and
The cameraman and all the other stuff.
It's a lot of work. So thank you guys.
Anyway, so thank you for watching. Thank you to the manufacturers. Thank you to our sponsors. And I am very glad that we're done. As always, this is Roman
And Andre.
And Nathan.
And Kent with MrTruck.com.
saying thanks for watching, and check out TFLtruck.com for more news, views, and real-world reviews.